If you've experienced the use of hospice's end-of-life care through the loss of a loved one, you know how wonderful and supportive this healthcare service can be. But many are still unaware of this option and underuse it. Audrey Sanchez and Bill Lewis are here to tell us why. Audrey is Protem's Hospice Care Coordinator, and Bill is the Marketing Community Liaison for Protem Homecare and Hospice. So welcome to the show. Now, I thought the statistics actually showed that hospice use was on the rise.
Well, it is, except for with minorities usage as well as people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. In fact, over the last 10 years, minorities' usage of hospice has actually decreased.
Oh, no. Well, that's not good. But why is that?
I mean, there's several contributing factors, but I think the first starting point, Lori, is let's start with the myths that a lot of people believe, no matter what background they're from. I mean, the first myth is hospice will accelerate my death. But actually, there's been studies where we've compared hospice patients to non-hospice patients with the same terminal diagnosis and similar age, and we've actually found that hospice patients on the average live 29 days longer.
Okay, so it is just a myth.
The second myth is if I enroll into hospice, I have to leave my home. I mean, it's natural. People want to be close to their family and friends and so forth. Well, you know what? Initially, hospice was a place. It's a concept now, and 90% of the services are actually provided in people's homes. And the last myth that a lot of people say, well, once I'm on hospice, I can't come off. You can go on to or come off hospice at any time you request. We actually have people graduating from hospice and actually no longer are terminally ill per the definition by hospice of 6 months life expectancy. So it's really not what a lot of people think.
It's important to get these myths out there. But there's other issues, right, Audrey, for cultures that keep them from using this hospice program. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. What we find in our minority community is the fact that there is a lack of relationship with their primary care physicians, and the fact that they don't necessarily always get continuous care. Another reason is the trust issues, due to the fact that we've had so many medical mistreatments, such as the institutionalized racism and, for example, the Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah, that was bad all around.
All around, yes, absolutely. And another thing is the language barrier. That being an issue, being able to be taken care of and understanding medical terminology in itself is very miscuing and very intimidating, and to have that language barrier there, that too can cause some stressors and some things, such, for example, not being able to have somebody there to necessarily understand what I'm saying, or
a language, Spanish or French or whatever it may be, right?
And to be able to interpret for me, and to break that barrier, it's very important. The lack of minority outreach is another reason that we find that hospice isn't
used as much by some folks as they really should use it.
Okay,
so.
And the fact that the benefits are covered under Medicare, Medicaid, and there are also non-profit hospices that are available out here to provide that care.
Okay, and most people don't realize that they don't have to pay for it. So this kind of lack of this cultural understanding translate into personal and financial costs to people. So can you address that a little bit?
Well, yeah, actually, Lori, often African Americans and Latinos are unlikely, or actually more likely, to use life-extending medications, mechanical ventilation. And in the case with African Americans, we are 66% more likely to exhaust all curative measures.
Okay.
Which increases costs significantly and really does little to improve the quality of life.
So what do we do to change the situation?
Well, hospice. Hospice provides the highest quality of life for an individual in their final days, and it saves Medicare on the average of $2,300 per patient.
Yeah, so we got to get the word out, right?
Get the word out.
That's why you're here.
That's it.
All right. Hospice is an option that can provide the best quality of life possible at the end of life, and it should be an option for everyone, no matter their economic status or cultural background. My thanks to Audrey Sanchez and Bill Lewis for their insight and options about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Find out more by calling Protem Homecare and Hospice at 216-663-8188 or visit www.protemhealth.com.